All right, welcome back. We are transiting to another topic now, which is the OSUN GUBER election implications for winners and losers. Implication, rather, for winners and losers. And we have joining us for this discussion, Mr. BOLA BOLAWO. He's a journalist and also a public affairs analyst. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, my sister. I'm happy to be here.
Welcome.
Well, it's a pleasure. I don't know if you were in Osun.
No, I wasn't.
As an observer or as a journalist.
Spiritually, I was there. Physically, I was in Lagos.
Okay, this is the second time the winner has actually attempted to become governor.
Yeah.
And he made it the second attempt.
He made it the first attempt. It was rigged out.
Oh, that's your opinion?
That is what happened.
No, that's your opinion.
That's what happened.
Yeah, you say INEC lied.
He lied. And the president confirmed it. He said he won by remote control.
How did he say that?
He said he was quoted in the leaders that in the election also they won the election by remote control. You know, the first election was declared inconclusive.
Yes.
Even after the man had won a majority votes in all and he had met the requirement of winning in the X number of local governments. They said there were problems in some areas. They cancelled some votes. They said they would have a rerun. And then during that rerun, they now had to arrange with Senator Olamisore to support them and give them one or two logistical supports. And on the basis of that, they said they won the rerun. So, but for that abracadabra of a rerun, Adeleke won that election. So they denied him. They robbed him 4 years ago.
You said it was stolen. You said it was a stolen mandate.
It was a stolen mandate.
At that time,
exactly.
Olamisore was not in APC.
It was in APC.
Okay.
But it was in PDP. You know, but he disagreed with his party. So he now brokered an agreement with Oyetola, and now supported Oyetola during the run. He contested under another party, SDP.
Yes.
You know, and then he brokered when he failed to win the ticket of his own party. He went to another party to contest. You know, before then he had contested under his party, and then didn't win. The second time now he didn't get the ticket. He lost the ticket to Adeleke. This same Adeleke. He lost the ticket to Adeleke. Then he went to SDP. So when Adeleke and Oyetola were running head to head, Olamisore decided to support APC Oyetola. So Oyetola won the election by remote control, according to the president, when they had a rerun. So this one that Adeleke has won now, and they have not been able to do a remote control now, is a poetic justice for what he was denied 4 years back.
Okay, Adeleke won by, he actually polled 403,371 to beat his closest rival, that's the incumbent, 375. Now, but Governor Oyetola, the defeated candidate,
yes,
was so confident that he would actually clinch the ticket for the second time, because he was basing his confidence on delivery of democratic dividends, service to the people, and all that for 4 years. Are you saying his confidence was misplaced or what?
Every politician is an incurable optimist. Even when they know that they will not win one vote, they will tell you they will win all the votes. They have that confidence. And it is politics, because once you begin to doubt your ability, you discourage your supporters. You see, you must not give an impression that you are not going to win this election. If you give the impression that you are not going to win an election, why go into it? How do you want people to rally around you? How do you want your supporters to work energetically? So, as a politician going for an election, you must raise the confidence level of your people. You must also raise your own confidence level. Raising the confidence level of your people and your own will also impact on the voters. When the voters see the way you are talking confidently, they say, no, Tonio, this man can win the election, so let us join the winning side. So what he did was normal. But underneath, he might have been nursing some fears because of what he had seen happening around him.
But the market is allowed. It's in the public space out there.
Yeah.
Said his loss was as a result of the internal ranking within the party. that if his predecessor, former governor of Osun State, Ralph Aregbesola, the current Minister of Interior, had actually aligned, there were crises within the party, unresolved crises.
Yeah.
Do you think the former governor's grouse or whatever disagreement was not a factor in the losing of the election?
You see, what I expected Oyetola to have said, he did not say it. Where Aregbesola caused his downfall was in Aregbesola's term as governor. Aregbesola performed woefully as governor. Aregbesola threw Osun State into indebtedness with nothing to show for it. Aregbesola's 8 years reign in Osun was a disaster. That was why they lost the election 4 years ago. But they used remote control to win that election. So their party lost 4 years ago, not this one. They lost 4 years ago because of Aregbesola's poor handling of that state. Aregbesola almost burnt down that state over hijab. You remember?
Yeah.
He caused a crisis between Christians and Muslims in that state. He took his political master from Lagos to go and douse that tension. Aregbesola was not paying salaries. Aregbesola changed the names of schools, including my own school, Ilesa Grammar School, where I had my A-levels. He changed the names of all those schools, bastardized all those schools. He changed the names of Osun Grammar School, where I taught as an auxiliary teacher. Everybody begged him, he refused. Aregbesola was the one that destroyed that party in Osun. So, but they managed to win that election. Now, when Oyetola got there, Oyetola had no money to do anything. Oyetola was indebted. The state was indebted. Now you need money to perform as a governor. People are saying he did not perform. How can you perform when you have your predecessor had already thrown the state into insolvency? There was a time when the state did not even have any money allocation from Abuja because they had borrowed so much that by the time they withdraw the money, they had nothing to take from Abuja. So what will Oyetola use to provide the dividends of democracy? So that was the major reason why his government could not perform. It is
are you saying he did not perform too?
He couldn't have performed the way the people wanted him to perform because he had no money.
Is that why he was at loggerheads with Aregbe that caused the internal rankings? Are these some of the issues that...
Those are some of the issues. You see, he was chief of staff to Aregbe.
Yeah, for 8 years.
For 8 years. Now, you know, our politicians, that's also where I said that it serves him right. Because when you were chief of staff to this man, I met Aregbe many times. I met Oyetola himself as a journalist. Now, when somebody is doing what is wrong, you tell him. But they will keep quiet because you don't want to ruffle the feathers.
How would you know whether he told him or not?
Well, if he told you...
Do you expect them to bring it to public space?
Yes, now you should bring it to... But now, is he not suffering for it now? Is it not the one who is suffering for it? Are they not using the head to crack the coconut now? When you were there and this man was doing all those things and you were chief of staff, what did you do? What did you say? How did you let the people know? Now people will say that you are the same. If you now complain, they will say, why you not a chief of staff for 8 years? Did you not do it together? So how can you now come and say that you didn't have any hand in it?
As the former governor, no matter how bad badly he may have performed as a governor, are you saying that he will not have his core loyalists, at least up to about 5% or 10% of the voting population? And if that had been added to Oyetola's vote, would he not have clinched victory?
There was no way. There was no way he could have added to Oyetola's votes. From day one, if you know the character of Aregbe, if somebody, Aregbe will invite you from Lagos as a journalist. Let's come and rub minds together. Aregbe will talk for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. He will not allow you to talk for 5 minutes. That's the kind of person that Aregbe is. So now, I've suffered him on 2 occasions like that. When he invited me from Lagos. And then you will wait, you know, a lot of this. Now, in that situation, for somebody who succeeds that kind of a person as governor, to be able to have the freedom and the liberty to rule as governor, there will be disagreements. So the disagreement between Oyetola, I've never met Oyetola. I never met Oyetola when he was governor for 4 years. I never went there. I never talked to him. I talked to him once on the phone when a niece of mine had a problem with them, and his chief of staff, Dr. Akinola, put somebody. He didn't tell me it was the governor, but I knew it was the governor that I was put. So I don't have anything for him, and I don't pity him. Serves him right, serve Aregbe right, serve all of them right, because the people of Osun had suffered. When I left my state, Ondo State, and the first time I left my state, it was to Osun State that I came, to Ede. I lived in Ede. I worked at Ojo Grammar School. I went to school in Ilesa Grammar School, and then I went to school at Ife. So I'm familiar with Osun. Osun is like my second state, apart from my state, and then Lagos, where I live and work now. So they have really bastardized that place. I have friends there who are not collecting salaries. I have relations there who are owed pensions and things like that. And people have really suffered there because of Aregbe, because Oyetola got there and couldn't perform to the level that the people expected it to perform.
But
so
he paid salaries, he cleared the pensions.
Yes, he tried.
So
that was why I felt
he may not have put infrastructure.
Yes, that was why I felt that the people, if they had considered what he did, they shouldn't have treated him the way they treated him. But they punished him for the sins of Aregbesola and the sins of Tinubu.
All right, let's
look at for the sins of other people. Ordinarily, among the governors in the Southwest, he tried as a person. Based on the resources at his disposal, he really tried. But they punished him for the sins. He suffered for the sins of other people.
All right, so let's look at INEC's performance in all this. People have really lauded INEC. Because from reports we have, there really was no, there were no violence as much as you would expect. How would you rate INEC, especially with the electronic transmission of this election? People have really rated them high. Do you take that same stance?
It's too early to say Eroka. It's too early to say that we have arrived. Let's see this as evidence of what we have all been saying, that e-transfer of election results will help to minimize election irregularities. People have been saying it. People have been clamoring for it. The INEC themselves have been saying they were not ready. When they said they were ready, the National Assembly said, no, you are not ready. But now, we have now seen that if actually we do the right thing, that election, free and fair election is not rocket science. Other people do it. Lesser countries, Ghana there, they do it. Benin Republic, they do it. Why should Nigeria? Rwanda, that you mentioned in your first segment of the program, they do it. So why can't Nigeria, Giant Africa, do it? It is doable if we want to do it. So what it has shown us is that we can have free and fair election. We can have free and fair presidential election that is credible if they want to do it. They have shown us the sign now with this Osun election. So if there's any other election that is not free and fair now, it is not because it cannot be done, it is because they don't want to do it. So we say kudos to them that they have given us, they have confirmed what we know, that election, transfer of elections will help minimize the incidence of election malpractices. But they still have something to do with vote buying. Vote buying was rampant in that election.
Yes.
Of course, Yaga Africa actually confirmed with this report. Now, there have been reactions trailing this result, this election in Osun. Ilumelu said this defeat, this election result, signpost defeat of APC in 2023 and even in many other states. Saraki has also said the party is well positioned to win 2023 elections. Do you think this is enough? The victory in Osun is sufficient for the party to be confident of victory in 2023?
It was not a party thing in Osun. It was not, if they are thinking it's a party thing, they are mistaken. It's not a party thing. Many of the people who voted in Osun voted on personality basis. Many of the people who voted because they had grievances against persons. Many of the people who voted because of local politics. Like they say, all politics is local. It's local, it's not national. So if they want to transfer it to the national, I read how you say that the next thing is to win at the well, that is also election does not translate to if the local is to translate to the national. However, the election in Ekiti that APC won, does that mean that APC will immediately now go and win the election at the national level? No. So they are talking about Osun now. Why not Ekiti before it? So the Ekiti election is localized. It's local politics that they played out. The Osun election is also local. It's local politics that played out. It may not be a reflection of national politics. So they should not just oppose the two or interpolate them and say that it's because of this one, I don't think so.
Okay, so if it was about personality, from what you're saying,
yes.
What are the personalities that sold Ademola Adeleke so well?
The attributes there.
Yeah, what is it about him?
You know, they are...
Because, people downplay him, they call him dancing senator.
Derisively
like,
a dancing senator.
Yes, you see, the Adeleke family is a political family. The Adeleke family, their father was a politician. Their brother, Cherubawon, was the first civilian governor in that state. And this Adeleke won election to the Senate, and he contested election 4 years ago. And he almost got it. And then they have Dafido, who is the rep of the movement with the youth. And then they also had an Adeleke that started the university, that started the bank. So these people, they have a pedigree, and they have spread their tentacles everywhere. So the Adeleke is not just a family you can just push aside. It's a family that has a lot of things going for them. So they have a lot of loyalists. For somebody to be governor, Cherubawon was the governor, and apart from that, he also had he was a big political player. So they had their hardcore loyalists. So, and then for you to run an election in 4 years ago, and they still kept the machinery intact. And where the man had a problem with his academics, he went back to school. That is what you'll have given these people the fright. He went back to school. He didn't resign. Okay, this is the area where they said he went back to school to get his degree. You must know that this man is coming back. It's like the ram that moves back. It goes to collect strength so that they can. And that is what has happened. And then they now exploited the cleavages within the ruling party. They exploited the cleavages. The problem between Aregbesola and Oyetola, they exploited it. At least whatever, like you said, if it is only 10,000 votes that they could muster, they took that one away. Not only did they take it away, they added it to the opponents. Can you imagine? It's double harm. You took it away. Not only did you take it away, you added it to the opponents. So you understand? That was what the Arab people did to them. So they took away votes from them and added it to the opponents. So it gives the opponent added advantage, added strength. While it was where they were reducing the strength of Oyetola, they were adding that to the strength of
the governor-elect has been advised not to take the people's votes for granted. That you should not take or just take people for granted.
Yeah.
That you should actually deliver. Now, what are the other lessons you think are embedded in this victory? If
he likes, let him take them for granted. 4 years around the corner. 4 years came just like yesterday for Oyetola now. Yeah. Abi? 4 years ago he was jubilating, he was smiling when he won. But 4 years has come now and he's burying his head now. So if Adeleke likes, let him take people for granted. Another 4 years is there. What he should know now is that people don't believe that he can perform. That's why they recently refer to him as the dancing senator. They don't believe that he can perform. They don't believe that he's cerebral enough to perform. They don't believe that he has the capacity to perform. So it is now left for him to prove the people wrong. So if he does not prove the people wrong, the same whip they have used to whip Oyetola now is held in reserve for him in 4 years down. And 4 years will come just like a day. So I want to advise him to stop dancing. This is not the time to dance again. So the dance that he has been dancing now is enough. This is the time for him to go and sit down now and begin to plan how he will rule and rule well. This is time for him to now go and sit down and say all the challenges, all the problems that are exploited against this man. He didn't do this, he didn't do that. Now it has become his own problem. He's the one that will now provide roads. He's the one that will provide the electricity. He's the one that will provide the drugs in the hospital. He's the one that will build schools. He's the one that pays salaries. He's the one that will pay pension. He should go and sit down now and begin to see how he will do all of that.
All right, so the incumbent governor has not congratulated the incoming governor.
Yeah.
And then the president has called to
Yeah.
congratulate Ademola Adeleke.
Yeah.
Now, Oyetola is saying he's waiting for the party's response to...
No, the party is still studying the
Is
results.
studying, and then, I don't know. Can you help us clarify that? Is the president not the leader of that party?
You see, it shows that their party is not working in unison, in tandem. Their party has problems. If the president that said to all of us that he's the leader of the party when he was contesting leadership with Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, that the party cannot have two leaders, that the president is the leader of the party. If the leader of the party has called to congratulate the man who won, it is either the president was hasty, or it is either the governor is paying policy of bad belly. The two of them cannot be right. If the president is right to have congratulated the man who won the election, then it is wrong for Oyetola, as somebody who is under the president, who is the leader of his party, to say he is still studying. Who is the party that is still studying? Is it the party in the state or the party at the national? Who is the leader of the party? It's not the president. So the two of them cannot be right. But I will think that the president is right. That Oyetola, whatever the party is doing, whether they are studying, they are not studying, whether they want to go to tribunal or they don't want to go to tribunal, it should at least say tentatively, in the interim, the people have spoken. I respect it. Though we have our reservations and we are studying, we may, if we find enough evidence, when we have pulled our evidence, we will decide what to do next. But I like the way he said that his supporters should remain calm, because there is a need to maintain peace. Osun is one state. I live in Osun. I live in Osogbo. I live at Ede. I live at Ife. I live at Ilisha. So I know that Osun people, they are the same, and that there is no need for us on the basis of election or whatever to cause confusion. And mind you, Oyetola still has the opportunity in future to contest for second term.
Yes.
It has happened in Ekiti. Is that not so?
Yes.
Fayemi had only one term. He came back to complete second term. Fayose had one term. He came back to complete second term. Shegun only had one term. He's still struggling to see if he can complete another term. Niyi Adebayo had one time. Me too has the opportunity to come back to complete.
All in Ekiti.
All in Ekiti. So the same thing can happen in Osun. So Oyetola should keep calm. In another 4 years, he may be able to come back. He can try again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Very interesting submission.
But then we need to ask, what lessons has the election also presented to APC now?
That they cannot take people for granted. And when you're Titaji, people are waking up. There is no monkey in the dan again. Everybody, people are waking up. People are now saying that they want to take their destiny into their own hands. So if you are a party, not only APC, including PDP, because there are elections everywhere, they should also know now that people are waking up from their slumber. People now want to take their destiny into their own hands. People now know the importance of their PVC. People now know that if they organize and they vote, that their vote will count, particularly with e-transfer of elections. And particularly if they are proactive, you vote, you stand, and make sure that your vote counts. So the people are now seeing themselves as power belonging to the people. We are now going towards what democracy is all about. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
In Ekiti State, the recent election, the entire number of voters was not close to 500,000.
Yeah.
But in Osun, with a small population, the voters were up to 1 million. So what lessons do you think there's?
Because there were issues, personal issues. When something affects you personally, you will come out. When it affects the whole community, you may stay in your own house, but it's not me alone. This issue, the issue of affected people personally. So people came out personally. All those people felt that Oyetola did not treat them well, the Aregbe group. They mobilized and came out personally. You understand? All those who felt that Adeleke was robbed 4 years ago, they mobilized and came out personally. So personal issues. If I were in Osun, I would have gone to vote. You see, if I want to vote there. So personal issues, when people are interested, political party will take a back seat. But when people are not interested, political party will take the front stage.
All right,
thank you very much, sir.
Thank you,
thoughts and your
Mr. Bola Bolawole, journalist and public affairs analyst. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
All right, and that's our program today. We thank you for staying with us. We'll be back on Wednesday for another edition. I am Jumoke Michaels. Bye-bye.
Thanks for staying tuned. My name is Banji Busari. See you later.